My friends, I want to tell you something today that could change the way you see your struggles, your delays, and even your disappointments. Because I know that someone listening right now is on the edge of something big from God. You may not see it yet, but I promise you, heaven is already moving on your behalf. But hear me, before God pours out something great in your life, there are signs. There are moments when he begins to shift things around you, when he whispers to your spirit, when he closes doors you thought should stay open, when he allows trials that seem too hard to bear, not to break you, but to prepare you. Because the God we serve is not a God of small things. He is a God of abundance, of breakthroughs, of divine appointments. So if you've been feeling like you're in a waiting season, if you've been wondering why the battle has been getting tougher, if you've been sensing that something is about to change, but you can't quite explain it, then my friend, this message is for you. Because when God is about to give you something big, there are signs. And today I want to show you exactly what those signs are so you don't miss what heaven is trying to tell you. My friends, before God blesses you with something great, before he pours out his favor in a way that you never imagined, he will take you through a season of unusual challenges. Now I know that doesn't sound like the good news you were hoping to hear, but stay with me. Because this might just be the very word your soul needs today. Some of you are in that season right now, and you've been asking, Lord, why is everything so hard? Why do I feel like I'm struggling more than ever before? But listen to me. The struggle is not a sign that God has abandoned you. It's a sign that he is preparing you. Throughout Scripture, we see this pattern over and over again. Before Joseph stepped into the palace, he went through betrayal, slavery, and prison. Before Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt, he spent 40 years in the wilderness, wondering if God was even still calling him. Before David wore the crown, he was hunted like an animal, forced to hide in caves, living as a fugitive. And my friends, even Jesus himself, before he began his ministry, was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, fasting for 40 days and being tempted by the enemy. Do you see the pattern? Before the breakthrough, there is always a battle. Before the blessing, there is always a test. And before God gives you something big, he will take you through something hard. Now, why does God allow these seasons of difficulty? I'll tell you why. Because God is not just interested in giving you blessings, and preparation always comes before promotion. You wouldn't give a 5-year-old the keys to a brand new car just because you love them, would you? No, because they aren't ready to handle it yet. In the same way, God loves you too much to give you something you are not yet prepared to handle. So he allows the challenges to come, not to destroy you, but to refine you, to strengthen you, to make sure that when the blessing comes, it won't crush you, but instead you will rise with it. Some of you are in a season right now where you feel like you're walking through the fire. But let me remind you, fire does not destroy gold, it refines it. Fire does not weaken steel, it strengthens it. And if you are walking through fire right now, it's because God is refining something in you. He is removing what doesn't belong, shaping you into the person who can handle what he's about to give you. He is teaching you perseverance, strengthening your faith, stretching your trust in him. Because where he's taking you, you can't bring weak faith. Where he's taking you, you can't walk in fear. Where he's taking you, you will need to be spiritually strong, mentally prepared, and fully dependent on him. I know it's not easy. I know that some of you are tired of waiting, tired of fighting, tired of wondering if the struggle will ever end. But hear me, this season will not last forever. God did not bring you this far to leave you. The same God who allowed the storm is the God who will bring you through it. And when you come out on the other side, you will look back and realize that every tear, every late night prayer, every moment when you thought you wouldn't make it, it was all part of the process. It was all part of the preparation. It was all leading you to the big thing that God had in store for you all along. So don't give up. Don't let discouragement win. Don't believe the lie that God has forgotten about you. No, my friend, he sees you. He is with you, and he is working even now. You are not being buried, you are being planted. And when the time is right, what he has placed inside of you will break through the surface and you will step into the big thing that he has been preparing for you all along. My friends, when God is about to give you something big, you're going to feel it before you see it. There's going to be a stirring in your spirit, a restlessness in your soul that you can't quite explain. You may not be able to put it into words, but something deep inside you knows. Change is coming. A shift is happening. God is up to something in your life, and your spirit can sense it before your eyes can see it. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've been feeling it lately. You've been waking up with this strange expectation in your heart, like you're on the edge of something, but you don't even know what it is. You've started to feel disconnected from things that used to excite you. The places you used to feel comfortable in now feel too small. The conversations you used to enjoy don't interest you the same way. Something in you is changing, and you don't know why. But let me tell you, this is God stirring something inside of you. This is Him preparing your spirit for what He is about to do next in your life. Whenever God is about to take someone to the next level, He first awakens something inside of them. He doesn't just move around them, He moves within them. He puts a holy dissatisfaction in their hearts, a divine discontent that makes them hunger for more. It's not that you're ungrateful for where you are. It's not that you're not thankful for what He's already done. But deep inside, you just know you were made for more. You were meant for something greater. And that's because God is shifting you into position for what's coming next. Look at the life of Nehemiah. He was just a cupbearer to the king, living in a royal palace with comfort and security. But one day he heard about the broken walls of Jerusalem, and suddenly he couldn't rest. Suddenly his heart was burdened for something greater. He couldn't ignore it. He couldn't shake it off. That wasn't just a passing emotion. That was God stirring his spirit for a mission bigger than himself. And I wonder, what is God stirring in you right now? What is He making you restless about? What is He calling you to step into that feels too big for you? Some of you are in a place right now where you don't even understand why you feel the way you do. You can't explain why you feel like change is coming, but you know it's coming. And that's because God is shifting your spirit before He shifts your situation. He's planting new desires in your heart. He's giving you new dreams, new visions, new passions that don't make sense yet. That's why the things that once satisfied you no longer do. That's why you can't settle where you used to be. That's why your soul is longing for something more. Because God is waking you up to greater. But here's the thing. You have to listen. You have to lean in. Because the enemy would love nothing more than for you to ignore this stirring. He would love for you to distract yourself, to push it aside, to keep living the same way, thinking the same way, staying in the same place. But my friends, when God is stirring something in you, it's not to be ignored. It's His way of telling you, get ready. I'm about to do something new in your life. And if you try to fight it, if you try to ignore it, you will only end up frustrated, because when God starts something in your spirit, nothing else will satisfy you until you step into it. It's why you can't go back to what was comfortable. It's why you can't settle. When God is calling you higher, the old places, the old mindsets, the old habits, they won't fit anymore. He is stretching you for what's ahead. You may not see it all yet. You may not understand it all. But that stirring in your heart, that holy restlessness, that deep knowing, it's a sign that God is about to bring something big into your life. My friends, when God is about to give you something big, you might not see open doors right away. In fact, you might see the opposite. Doors closing, plans falling apart, opportunities slipping through your fingers. And it's in those moments that the enemy will whisper, see, God isn't with you. If He was, things wouldn't be this hard. But I came to tell you today that closed doors are not the end of God's plan. They are part of it. Divine delays are not denials. They are preparation. They are protection. They are the hand of God working behind the scenes in ways you can't yet understand. Some of you have been praying for God to open a door, and instead it seems like every door is shutting in your face. What if I told you that the closed door is actually your answer? What if I told you that the delay is proof that God is leading you to something greater than you were asking for? Because let me tell you, when God closes a door, it's not to harm you. It's to keep you from stepping into something that is less than is best for you. Think about Joseph. He had dreams of greatness, dreams that came straight from God. But instead of stepping straight into his destiny, what happened? Doors slammed shut. He was betrayed, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, locked in a prison. If Joseph had judged God's plan by the doors that were closing, he would have thought that God had abandoned him. But God hadn't abandoned him. He was positioning him. Every closed door was a step closer to the palace. Every delay was setting him up for something greater than he could have ever imagined. And the same is true for you. You may not understand why certain things didn't work out, why that job didn't come through, why that relationship didn't last, why that opportunity slipped away. But if you could see what God sees, you would be thanking him for every door that didn't open. Because one day, you will look back and realize that what you thought was rejection was really redirect. What you thought was a setback was really God setting you up for something better. Some of you are frustrated right now because you feel stuck in a waiting season. You've been praying, you've been believing, you've been knocking on doors, and yet nothing seems to be moving. But let me remind you, just because you don't see movement doesn't mean God isn't working. Just because the door hasn't opened yet doesn't mean it won't. Sometimes God delays things not because he's saying no, but because he's saying not yet. Because he knows if he gives it to you too soon, you won't be ready. If he gives it to you now, it won't be the blessing it's meant to be. It will be a burden. So he waits. And in the waiting, he prepares you. In the waiting, he shapes your character so that when the door does open, you will be able to walk through it with wisdom, with strength, and with the faith that has been tested and proven. But here's the key. You have to trust that his timing is perfect. You have to trust that he sees what you cannot see. You have to trust that he sees what you cannot see. You have to trust that if the door is closed, it's for your good. Some of you have been trying to force open doors that God himself has shut. You've been pushing and striving and trying to make things happen in your own strength. But listen, if God has closed a door, don't force it. Don't try to make something work that isn't meant for you. Because if you have to force it, that means it's not God's best. So instead of fighting against what God is doing, surrender to it. Instead of questioning his timing, trust it. Instead of being frustrated by the delays, thank him for them. Because if the door is closed right now, it only means that something better is on the way. And when that right door opens, when the time is right, when you step into the blessing that God has been preparing for you, then you will see that every delay, every detour, and every disappointment was leading you straight to something greater than you ever imagined. My friends, when God is about to give you something big, he won't just whisper it to your heart. He will confirm it. He will speak in ways you cannot deny. Some of you have been sensing a shift, feeling that God is leading you into something new. And you've been asking, Lord, is this really you? Am I hearing you right? Am I going in the right direction? And I want you to know today, when God is moving, he will not leave you in confusion. He will give you signs. He will send confirmation. He will make it clear that his hand is on your life and that he's leading you into something greater. Now, sometimes those confirmations will come through his word. Have you ever been reading the Bible and suddenly a verse jumps off the page like it was written just for you? Maybe it speaks directly to the situation you're in. Maybe it answers a question you've been wrestling with. That's not a coincidence. That's God confirming what he's already placed in your spirit. That's why his word is called a lamp to our feet and a light to our path, because he uses it to guide us, to reassure us, to show us that we are walking in his will. Other times, God will confirm things through people. You'll be in a conversation and someone will say something that speaks directly to what you've been praying about. They don't even know what you're going through, but their words hit your spirit in a way that you know it's God. Or maybe a pastor preaches a sermon and it's as if they've been reading your mind, or a friend sends you a message out of nowhere, not knowing that their words are exactly what you needed to hear. That's not chance. That's God using others to confirm what He's already been speaking to you. And then sometimes God confirms things through divine opportunities. You'll find doors opening that you didn't even knock on. A job offer will come from a place you never applied. A connection will be made that you never planned for. God will orchestrate things in such a way that you have no doubt it was Him. You see, when God is in something, He will bring alignment. He will bring favor. He will open doors that only He can open. That's why you don't have to force things to happen, because when it's from God, it will flow in His perfect timing. But my friends, let me tell you this. God doesn't just confirm His plans through blessings. He also confirms them through resistance. Because sometimes the enemy sees what God is doing before you do, and he will try to stop it. Have you ever noticed that right before a breakthrough, you face unusual opposition? You start moving toward what God has for you, and suddenly distractions come, doubts creep in, people start questioning you, discouraging you, making you second-guess what you know God told you. Listen, don't be discouraged by the resistance. The enemy wouldn't be fighting you this hard if there wasn't something great on the other side of this battle. In fact, sometimes opposition is the very confirmation that you are on the right path. Think about Nehemiah. God put a vision in his heart to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, and as soon as he started the work, opposition came from every side. People mocked him, threatened him, tried to stop him. But Nehemiah didn't let their voices shake him. He kept building. And because he stayed faithful, the very thing the enemy tried to stop came to pass. And my friends, the same is true for you. If you are facing opposition right now, if the enemy is trying to discourage you, that may be the clearest sign that you are stepping into something great. The question is, will you keep building? Will you keep trusting? Will you hold on to what God has spoken, even when the enemy tries to shake your confidence? God will confirm His promises, but you have to be listening. You have to be watching. You have to stay in His Word so that when He speaks, you recognize His voice. You have to stay in prayer so that when He leads, you are ready to follow. You have to stay faithful so that when opposition comes, you don't waver, you don't retreat, but you stand firm knowing that if God said it, He will do it. And when you do that, when you trust His confirmations, when you walk in obedience to what He has spoken, you will step into the big thing He has been preparing for you all along. My friends, when God is about to give you something big, the enemy will do everything he can to make you doubt it. He will try to shake your faith, distract your mind, and discourage your heart. And if you're not careful, you'll start to believe the lies. You'll start to think, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I didn't hear God right. Maybe this isn't for me. And that's exactly what the enemy wants, to get you to step back right when you should be stepping forward. Have you ever noticed that right before a breakthrough, the battle seems to intensify? Right before a door opens, the pressure increases. Right before the blessing, the enemy comes at you harder than ever. That's because if you walk in your calling, if you receive the blessing that's on its way, it's going to advance God's kingdom. It's going to shake the darkness. It's going to break chains. And so He fights you, not because you're weak, but because He sees that you are dangerous to His plans. He attacks you because He knows what's inside of you. He tries to plant fear because He knows if you hold on to faith, nothing will be able to stop you. Look at the life of Jesus right after He was baptized. Right after the heavens opened and the Father declared, "This is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased." What happened? He was led into the wilderness to be tempted by the enemy. Right after confirmation came confrontation. And that's how the enemy works. He will always attack you at the point of your identity, your purpose, and your promise. He wants you to forget who you are. He wants you to question what God has said. He wants you to turn back just when you're on the edge of something great. But I came to tell you today, don't you dare turn back now. If the enemy is fighting you, it's because your breakthrough is closer than you think. Some of you are in that battle right now. You've been feeling the weight of discouragement. You've been hearing voices of doubt. You've been facing distractions that are pulling you away from what God has spoken. But listen, if you're facing resistance, that means you are moving forward. The only time the enemy has to fight you is when you are advancing. He doesn't fight people who are sitting still. He doesn't fight people who have given up. He only fights those who are about to step into something powerful. So if you're in a fight right now, take heart. It's a sign that God is about to do something big in your life. The enemy will use every tactic he can to stop you. He will try to wear you down with distraction. He will put things in your path that pull your focus away from what really matters. He will try to drain your energy on things that don't deserve your time. He will send people who speak negativity into your life, people who make you doubt yourself. But don't take the bait. Keep your eyes on what God has spoken. Stay focused on His promises. Stay rooted in His word. Because if the enemy can't take your faith, he can't take your future. And let me tell you something else. When the enemy sees he can't distract you, he will try to exhaust you. He will try to wear you out, make you tired, make you want to quit. Some of you have been feeling weary. You've been feeling drained. But hear me. This is not the time to give up. The enemy wants you to stop because he knows your breakthrough is near. But the Bible says, do not grow weary in doing good, for in due season you will reap if you do not give up. And my friends, I believe your due season is coming. The only thing you have to do is hold on. This is why you have to be intentional about staying strong in the Spirit. You have to surround yourself with people who will speak life into you. You have to stay in the Word because the Word is your weapon. When Jesus was tempted in the wilderness, He didn't argue with the enemy. He declared the Word of God. And that's what you have to do. When the enemy whispers doubt, declare what God has said. When fear tries to creep in, remind yourself of God's promises. When discouragement tries to settle in your heart, stand on the truth that God is faithful